Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is the paid request. It's time for Phil. Thank you so much for that, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, it could be a re-review, it could be randomness, reaction, whatever it be. If I speak in English, what the hell was that? What would it be? I don't know. I don't drink, but maybe I should start. But those links, PayPal, Patreon, if you want to send any requests or anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under each of these videos. Now that I repeated that like 4 times, let's get to the review. Piranha, 1978. Directed by Joe Dante, who would go on to direct Gremlins, Inner Space, The Burbs. I would say all films I do like more than this. Matinee, I remember not minding. I would probably put that above this. Explorers, I liked until the bullshit ending. Because the first half of that film is great. It's like Close Encounters with kids. And I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And then it turns to a goofy, stupid Bugs Bunny sounding cartoon. And to me, ruins the damn movie. Which sucks. There's a lot of stuff I like about that. But Explorers just pisses me off with that third act. It really does. Like, you get the landing gears down, man. Now, Piranha kind of helped Joe Dante get onto the map, though. He had worked with Roger Corman behind the scenes in quite a few projects. This is the film that Steven Spielberg himself said was the best Jaws ripoff out there. He was a fan of this, because I think there was a point that maybe the studio was thinking of suing them. And Spielberg's like, wait, this is a good movie. And it did decent business. Like I said, it helped Joe Dante's career. There's a sequel, Piranha 2: The Spawning, that was directed by James Cameron, but then he got fired or quit and someone else took over. Now, the cast includes Bradford Dillman, Kevin McCarthy from the 50s Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Dick Miller, may he rest in, sadly these guys have passed away. Dick Miller worked with Joe Dante a lot. He was in Gremlins, of course. One of the garbage men in The Burbs. The setup is these two people get killed and this lady is trying to find what happened to them. How did they go? Where did they go missing? So she gets Bradford Dillman, who's a bit of a drunk, to take her out there. One leads to another. They find this test lab and they accidentally do the wrong thing and let these test subject piranhas out. Piranhas that were meant to be used in Vietnam for the Vietnamese rivers to fuck up their resources and food and whatever the hell else it would be. But Vietnam came and went and they just had these damn test things. Kevin McCarthy just about, you guys let him out. Dick Miller, he is the guy that runs this sort of resort, which later on, as it's put, the piranhas. What about the damn piranhas? They're eating the guests, sir. Which I think is the best line in the movie. Now it does try to be, I wouldn't say a parody, because parody makes you think of Airplane, Hot Shots Pour Deux. Satire, I don't know, is played fairly straight. I mean, there's little winks to it, like near the beginning, the lady that goes looking for these two missing people, she's playing a Jaws type of arcade game from back in the day. It even says Jaws the Game on the cabinet. It's cool to see people like Kevin McCarthy and Dick Miller in there, although I wish they were the leads. I wish they were the stars of the film. Like, if Kevin McCarthy and Dick Miller were the stars, as much as Piranha 2 stinks, at least Lance Henriksen is one of the stars of it, and he's a good actor. The film, I thought, and I always thought this film was okay. I never loved this movie, but I don't hate the film. like I said, some of the supporting cast, Paul Bartel, who is in Eating Raoul. He's been in a lot of other stuff. It's nice to see him in there. Like I said, they're more interesting in their bit roles than the two lead characters. I think that is one issue, is that I think the two leads are fairly dull. Either the acting is there, I don't think it's bad, but they're there. I don't think they really have much chemistry with each other. And I disagree with Spielberg. I don't think this is the best Jaws ripoff movie. I don't. Not to me. I like the look. It's low budget, but I like the look of the piranhas and what little resources they had, how they make them look, and like the weird sound effect they're given when they. I don't even know how to describe it. And there's gore in it, and when they bite and snipping, skin peeling off, it's like, ew. There's a nice gooey, gory aspect to it, and it's definitely trying to be a bit more gory compared to Jaws. And they figured, well, one kid got eaten in that. Wouldn't we have a section where a bunch of kids get, fucked up? And if not killed, then they're bitten the fuck up. So there's some bits of gruesome gore, and again, some may laugh at the piranha effects, but I think, again, for a low-budget Roger Corman production, it was fun to see. I don't know why I stuttered there. I just, maybe my brain was going, are you sure it was fun? Yeah, it was fun. It was a charm to it. But after that beginning, this trying to be a tip to Jaws, where at the beginning of Jaws, a woman gets pulled down. Here, they both get pulled down. And then the Jaws arcade game thing. And then the movie really slows down to me. Because then it's exposition, it's dealing with Kevin McCarthy, then they're going down the river, and then Kevin McCarthy wakes up and he's like, we shouldn't be here, and then they don't believe him, and then they're trying to work up to find out what's going on, even though Kevin McCarthy tells them what's going on. And it takes a while before there's another attack. I mean, there is one bit, to be fair, but you don't... You see, well, that's a spoiler. But it kind of slows down. It gets kind of boring for a bit. Just here's the thing. For me, I would say I like, for Jaws ripoffs, I'm looking at my DVD shelf, Grizzly. I liked Grizzly a lot more. I got the DVD. I still need to pick up the Blu-ray of that. I keep forgetting. Because I really like Christopher George in that. And being in the woods, and it's a bear, so it gives a bit more distinction compared to this with in the water. And that bear, I mean, he's fucking ripping arms off, and I forget if he swiped the kid or he swiped the mother of the kid. I think the kid. It's like, if they took it a step further, just take the sleeping bag and do like this. Like that Bigfoot movie, Night of the Demon. And then the bear just goes... He doesn't do that, but like Grizzly I liked more than this. Alligator. Robert Forster, may he rest in peace. And I say that because John Sayles worked on this. I think he did a much better job with the script in Alligator. Alligator I liked a lot more than this. And I got the Blu-ray. Where the hell is the Blu-ray's there somewhere. What the hell did I put? I might have put the Blu-ray over there, damn it. But I have the Blu-ray here somewhere. Sorry that I'm derailing the review, but where the hell did I put my... Oh, damn it. I put it over there, damn it. But Alligator I love. Because that one I felt more of the humor, I felt more of a sharper wit. I thought the pacing went a bit faster and quicker, and it may not be wall-to-wall action, but especially Robert Forster, I think he was a much better lead than Bradford Dillman. I think Christopher George, let alone, of course, Roy Scheider and Jaws, were much better leads. I think Bradford Dillman, he wasn't the best choice for this. I mean, you got Dick Miller. Let Dick Miller be the lead. Or hell, I mean, it's Roger Corman production. David Carradine. And then imagine, like, his character in To the Winged Serpent. You get that fun type of dialogue as the lead in this. That would have been better. Or again, Kevin McCarthy. Why don't he just be the lead? The lead, to me, just kind of meh. I was, at best, indifferent to him. The lead lady, the same. I didn't care for their conversations together. I didn't care for their trying to be banter together. I didn't care about those characters. I thought they were rather dull. And yeah, maybe that's just me, but I thought they were a very weak part in this exposition going down the river section of the movie. To get more into spoilers, you got Keenan Wynn, who's been in a lot of stuff. He was in the creature feature film called The Dark in the 80s. No, maybe that was that the 80s? Maybe that was the 70s. I can't remember when The Dark was. Maybe that was 79? I can't remember the year now. He was in that. He's a guy who's friends with Bradford Dillman, and in spoilers, he's with his dog. They snip his legs, and then after our characters with Tim McCarthy go down the river, they find Keenan Wynn, and they find his legs bitten to shit, to the bone, and he died. So I'm sitting there going, you see this. This guy warned you of piranha. This looks like his leg got eaten to shit, maybe by piranha. Why do you go back into the fucking water then? Run through the woods. Keenan Wynn probably has a car. Take his fucking car. He's probably not going to need it anymore. So why the fuck do you go back on the fucking river? And if you can't take a car, run, walk, crawl, stride, skip through the fucking woods. Why do you go back on the fucking river? I didn't understand that. But they did that, and it's spoilers from here on, because you have this one kid whose father gets killed, and now you get to see, you saw mostly the remains of Keenan Wynn's legs. Here you get a bit more of an attack scene, and it's goopy, it's gory. And then they save Kevin McCarthy saves the kid, but he gets bitten up, and he dies of his wounds. And the second act to the third, you get some entertaining bits of B-movie exploitation, bits of action, where, like I said, it's a camp, it's also a resort, so Paul Bartel has all these kids, and they're getting snipped up, and one person gets eaten up. They had warned, because that's another thing, there's also a section in the middle where they warn this military type of group. They either don't care or don't take them seriously. I just, when I look at Jaws ripoffs, this never really comes to mind as a film that's top priority for me. And even watch it again, I'm like, I don't think it's as funny as people make it out to be. I didn't really laugh that much. I smirked at the Jaws game at the beginning. Maybe some bits of Dick Miller and Paul Bartel, but I didn't really laugh much. Granted, I mean, most of the movies played straight. Maybe if you're laughing at the piranha stuff. And like I said, it's not bad. It's not cringe-inducing for the most part. It's got some B-movie, bloody Roger Corman fun in the second half. Especially when, again, that line comes up. Dick Miller's on the phone. What about the goddamn piranhas? They're eating the death, sir. And you see the way the piranhas look in the low budget, and the way it's like getting a cheese grater against your skin. And you can almost like feel that in a way, at least to me, like, eee. Yeah, that kind of reaction. So then leads into they use pollution as the solution, which is ironic, and kind of an ending where he's able to stop the piranhas, so we think, and he just pulled away, but he got the shit bit out of him, but he's alive, but he looks like he's in shock. So I don't know if he's going to be in a coma, I don't know if he's going to be in shock forever. He just... he was intended to. Like, he never snaps out of it or anything, so you kind of left the audience in the air of what happens to this guy. Will it be in a hospital? Will it be a fucking mental institution? Who knows? And then one of the military ladies like, yeah, the problem is solved. But he did. Maybe they made it out. Maybe they didn't. It's left in the air, a question mark. I don't know. I mean, when you don't have as strong of that character dynamic of the leads like in Jaws, it was one of the reasons that made that film work. Even Jaws 3, like, I like Dennis Quaid and Bess Armstrong a lot more than these two leads. And it would have been cool if Jaws 3 had the gore of this movie, because if it did, I think that film would be liked more. Like Jaws 3, I like the score more. I even like the idea of the theme park SeaWorld more. It's just this has the gore. And it's always cool to see coked up Dennis Quaid like he was in Jaws 3. So yeah, I mean, I'm just mentioning there's a lot of other of these type of films I like more than Piranha. Well, I know people say it's very funny, very hilarious, and I go, Dick Miller, Paul Bartel, I just see those bits funny, but I don't think there's a whole lot of other laughs in this as a comedy that sometimes it's titled as. And horror, again, there's some nice gruesome effects. Which, I mean, hell, you see that in the Piranha remake by Alexander Aja. That did have one scene where he had a lot of gruesome shit in it. He really tried to go to town on the gore on that. That's a film I haven't seen in forever, that remake. I remember when I first saw it, I wasn't really a fan of it because I thought that Elizabeth Shue and Ving Rhames should have been in it more. And it was a bit too little of them and too much of the douchebag kids. I mean, why do we need these douchebag kids? Like, have Elizabeth Shue and Ving Rhames in it more as the focus. Like Jaws, like Robert. Okay, don't compare Jaws. Okay, Alligator, Robert Forster. His character, his mannerisms, the way he's written, helps make that film very worthwhile to watch. Robert Forster is an essential part of what makes Alligator work. Christopher George, I really liked in Grizzly. He's an essential part of what makes that film work. If you had characters, one or both of them as the leads, I think that really would have made it work more for me. But because of that, I have two uninteresting, dull lead characters that they're not awful, but I don't really give a shit what happens to them either. And again, you have, I think the first act could be a bit quicker in pacing. I do think the second act is a bit better. But again, because there's low budget, it's not like you don't see a lot of crazy shit. I mean, there's a neat little bit where there's a guy's water skiing, and he's trying to warn people, and I guess a boat wasn't paying attention and does this thing where it goes off another boat in slow motion. And there's like a little bit of an explosion. You know, that was cool to see. But I don't know, man. I mean, you do also get some pretty stupid characters in this. Even the leads are fairly stupid, and maybe that's the point. But they're in the very stupid. Like I said, this guy told you there's piranhas, and there's a guy, your friend, with no more meat on his legs. Let's go back onto the water. Just The stupid characters, it made me miss watching Alligator and Grizzly. I much preferred them over Piranha. But Piranha has some charm to its effects, has some charm to its supporting actors. I like the idea of Piranha being used, because they're little, but they're so just razor sharp teeth. It is like a bunch of little cheese graters. Like a lot of times, chop off the arm, we see in movies, but that pectin bits of your skin. In a weird way, we could, hopefully, you're not in a position that more likely your arm will be chopped off like that. But there's a lot of times where you get a nick, shit, and it nicks you on your, below, like this part of here, or here, or here, and then you could feel it, and you imagine that happen 100 more times. So, you feel it even more. It's kind of that thing of, why is it that we see a guy's head cut off, cool effect, but we see someone get a paper cut, you go, ooh. Because you've either done that before, and you could almost feel that sympathy of, I know how that feels. So it's that instinct. Like, if you have a paper cut right here, in a weird way, you feel more emotional to that than, a goddamn blown up like a big trouble in Little China. He's not going to stop. See, a Piranha, it's okay. It's not a favorite of mine. It's alright. I don't think I would ever watch it again. Whether it's better than the remake, I haven't seen the remake in forever, so I would save that opinion if I ever do rewatch that. Like I said, of Jaws ripoffs, I'm trying to think of like what would be cited a Jaws ripoff. Like what falls in that territory? Like, does Cujo fall in that territory? Probably not. They're just killer animal film. But yeah, Grizzly, Alligator are the ones I think of, and I prefer those over this one. But it's okay. It's not awful though. It's not terrible. If you like these type of, it's better than the shit that you would see Sci-Fi Channel do, Mega Piranha versus Space Octopus or whatever. At least Joe Dante has some competence in working with some of the at least supporting actors, and I'm just repeating myself. So, with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.